Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the free to play Baguette. This video is going to be a little bit different from our account update. This is going to be a video on a guide to farm accounts, how we created our farm accounts in 4653, and how we're planning to actually revamp how we want to approach our farm accounts headed into 4069, and how I personally am going to approach what I want to do with the account, how I'm gonna level it up from City Hall 1 to 17, and I'm gonna go in between all these steps that I'm planning to do and work on in order to get the best early game KVK1 free to play farm account that we possibly can. So to start off, whenever you make an account, you always want to have the new journey available. New journey is basically, this is an old account. I have many accounts on this Gmail, and they all have the new journey. So this new journey, you go 5 gold keys. We all love that. It's nice for your farm account. It's a nice little boost. 500 gems are also very nice. You can't really go wrong with this. Next, before you make your farm account, you want to go to the Lilith Pass. And here you're gonna log into your account, um, and you're gonna access your birthday bundle. I did the birthday bundle on both my farm accounts in 4063. Unfortunately, we can't migrate them to 4069, but that is just the lost cause that we're going to have to work with. But for the other accounts, I'm hoping to get a couple birthday bundles because today's speeds, it's nice, it's really early power, and it's exactly what you need to progress your farm account a little bit further. Um, Now, before I go into the next steps, I'm going to cover my 2 farms that I was working on in 4063. So first, while I wait for this one to open, this is my less less worked on farm account. As you can see, Croissant is the more worked on one. And you'll see that they're 2 different civilizations. So I was kind of testing something out, and it had to do with Vengeance. Vengeance is a new early game, like kind of X campaign, and over time you get these rewards and you push power, you get gold keys, silver keys, a whole bunch of commander heads, and etc. Actually, I think vengeance is really important for the farm accounts and to make sure that you have them filled out as much or pushed as much as possible. So for this account, I realized that your vengeance commanders that you get were the 2 I got were Joan of Arc. I got commander heads for her from vengeance. I got a lot of Kusunoki heads from Vengeance for Joan of Arc, and I got a lot of Belisarius heads. And this is only because I chose France as my starting civilization. When I was testing out Byzantium, I got, obviously, Belisarius heads. I got a lot of Persicleus heads, 64, and I got a good amount of Sun Tzu heads, around the same amount. So they changed per civilization that you start in the game. And usually the meta past then was that you would start France because you really want your Joan of Arc to be at a pretty high, you want her to be, she's really important, she's good for your farm account. Um, it's a good civilization to start as you get the hospital, with a gathering, health, and etc. You mainly just want the Joan of Arc heads. But the more I think about it, the only reason you're getting Joan of Arc is because of her second ability. It's not hard to max out her second ability as a farm account. It's actually really easy, um, especially if you start China, which is what I'm gonna get into right now. Because when you play as China, you actually get Sun Tzu sculptures, and the two commanders you get from Vengeance that are epic from when you start China are Joan and Boudica. So you get these 2 from when you play Vengeance. Um, and you get so many Joan heads that you get enough to like max out her first skill and her second skill. Obviously, you care more about the second skill, but when you're gathering, but yeah. So my plan headed into the next farm account that I'm going to make is that I'm gonna start China, push vengeance as far as possible, within like however long I have it, unlock all the drone heads and push her to as far as I possibly can to get at least her second skill to 5 for the farm accounts. And that's it. Also, China is a much better civilization to start as for your farm accounts because well, you also get Boudica as a peacekeeper from the Vengeance too. Also, Sun Tzu is just nice to have. Maybe you need him as a garrison. Maybe you need him as. You also need him to push Vengeance further. Sun Tzu is actually really OP in Vengeance, one of the strongest ones you can use, and so that'll just make your life so much easier when you're trying to level up your farm account. That's why I think China is the best civilization to start as for a farm account. Additionally, you also pretty self-explanatory. The building speed. It's very nice. So after you've chosen Sun Tzu, after you've chosen China um as your starting civilization, after you got in your birthday bundle, if you have it accessible, after you got in the new journey, how do you level up a farm account? Now, my take is that you actually level it up like you would a regular account. So what we did for our main account was that when we started, we spammed help as much as possible to get the help building speeds. Now it's kind of hard to do that for a farm account because you're not gonna be playing on it, but you want to get into alliance that is asking for help and you're spamming the hell out of it. You'll get a lot of building speeds and it's very nice early on. Now also you're gonna push as far as you can. When you open the account, you're gonna push to VIP 3 as soon as possible. Building speed is very important to push your farm account. Then you're gonna push to VIP. Sorry, not VIP. Then you're gonna push to City Hall 5. City Hall 5 is very important because that's when you unlock the academy. And then you're gonna push to VIP 6. And the reason that we're doing this is because masonry. So our idea is that you're gonna get enough tribal villages from your farm account when you're doing fog, the auto fog or whatever, in order to get masonry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And masonry is important because of the building speed you get from it. It's 15%. Now on this account, I cleared enough fog and pushed it to City Hall 9 before using any speeds. I did not use any speeds to get to City Hall 9 in order to max out building the masonry. And then after that, I pushed as hard as I could to City Hall 11 to get to 3rd March. And City Hall 12 is mainly your benchmark because that's when you unlock the trading post. And the trading post at level 12 is at 24%, which is better than plundering your city. And you need that to get the gold mine to 12. So that is going to be the plan for the future farm accounts. The walkdown is that I'm going to get New Journey, get the birthday bundle, pick China as my civilization, push vengeance as much as possible, slowly work my way up after pushing VIP 3 in order to get City Hall 5 and slowly get all my tribal villages to push Masonry 5. After that, all the speeds I have been sitting on will be used um in order to push City Hall 11. And then from City Hall 11 to City Hall 17, you're just going to work very slowly on it. You're going to get everything that you need done. You're going to follow the exact things you need to push the City Hall to 17. And yeah. Now, one thing I will mention is that the thing about the farm accounts is hardest to get them to VIP 6. Now, I was able to get it on this account um, pretty simply. Uh, I got a couple sanctums. Unironically, I got a couple sanctums on the farm account, which is kind of funny. So it was easier to push VIP 6, but this is like your benchmark because you get the building speed and you unlock the second queue, which is really important. After that, I honestly may recommend putting gems into speeds to get to City Hall 17 faster if you really need the resources for your main. If not, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my gems, but I think what's best is just to hold on to them. Maybe you get them for egg event for like um, gathering pieces. Maybe you can use those for etc. Basically, you want to get to 16 and 17 as fast as possible because you want to be starting your blacksmith for the bones, and you want to be um, get to your fourth watch as fast as possible. Additionally, obviously, pretty self-explanatory. When you're pushing the research, you only want to work on economic tree. For some of my accounts, actually, I'm gonna fully push the economic tree until I can't, and then after that, I'm gonna slowly work my way towards tier four. But the way I'm gonna get tier four is by the minimal amount. So I'm gonna 111 3 cartography. The minimal for this, the minimum for these are 3, and then I'm gonna get the tier four, and they're just gonna be good for. I'm not even gonna unlock ballistas. It's just gonna be tier four troops, and so I personally think that running forts on farms are really, really important. Um, so you'll see on this account, I've done, I'm not sure. I've done at least 100 forts, maybe more. Let's see if I can find it in my, it's achievement as well. So I'm gonna find, I've done 51 forts, not 100. That was a bit of an over exaggeration. But I've done 51 forts, and each fort that I got gave me around 170 aggregate food. And so, pull out the calculator. This is an aggregate of 8.67 million resources for free. You just have one march send it. And it's as simple as that. Like doing forts on farms are probably the best thing you can do with your AP. Now, one thing I will say is that I think during Lohar, it's better to um spending AP on farms is better to just one march barbs left and right and just like burn it through real quickly. Um, to like get the hard necklaces, I think are better than forts early on, and this also helps you push your farm much better as well. I may recommend spending AP bottles on the farms if you have the time for Lohar. If not, then you just save it later for KVK1 to like maybe do Marauders on the farms, but it's just very unlikely, like that's just for the most try hard people that like want to push to maybe CH22 for that fifth march. Um, Additionally, you'll see I started Byzantium. Now, I explained why I chose France, but I didn't explain why I chose Byzantium. So, in order to run these forts, you can see earlier that I have a level 141 Belisarius. He's my rally lead my um for the account. So I was having him rally lead a full cav march when I searched barbarian forts. I'm like this. So it was like this and like this. This was my setup, and then I also had my other farm join cav only. Um, and it worked really well. Like these forts died really fast. It was really efficient, and it was perfect. It was very perfect, as you can see. Just two manning forts. Um, and I found that since we won't be starting Byzantium and we'll be starting China instead, you'll be wondering like, what am I going to use as a rally lead? What I'm thinking is that I'm actually going to delay doing forts early on, do Lohar necklaces instead, and then because I'm going to be starting China, I'm going to have a strong Sun Tzu. And so before the 7th day reset that you have in every single new kingdom, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push expedition, or at least try to push expedition on these accounts to 31 and 32 in order to lock Ethelfled. And I want to slowly work towards getting Ethelfled as my rally lead instead, and so I can like do forts. But in the meantime, what I think I'm gonna do is that once I start China, I'm gonna put levels into either Chow Chow, um, or Boudica as my rally lead. Probably it'll probably be Boudica Chow Chow as my rally lead. I'm going to see how well that works as a um like as a rally, and if it works good enough to where I can run it for a little bit after the low hard is done, that's what I'll do. But I want to try to get my farms to, or one of the farms at least one of the farms to be a rally lead to get Ethelfled, and to have her as high level as possible, um, to rally forwards as efficiently as possible, um, at just like 5-1-1 if it's doable, which personally I think it very much is. So that's the plan, that's the goal, and that's the idea behind bar forts on farm accounts. And for now, that'll conclude the guide and plan for pushing the farm accounts for early pre KVK1, and the my idea behind how I want to utilize and abuse vengeance in order to get as strong of a farm account as possible while doing the most minimal work as possible. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section and I will respond to them to the best of my ability. Thank you.